So another method of research is content analysis. When we talk about content analysis here, you are using text, you are using news, you are using information from the mass media, like the news house, like the TV channels, to base your research evidence. That is what content analysis is. So the news they've come about, the articles they've written, the stories they've talked about frequently. So when you use it as research method, when you use it for your research, or when you base it on your research, then that is content analysis.
Primary research, right?
No, secondary.
Secondary.
Yeah. So for content analysis, I think you get it. It's a method used specifically to study the content of documents used by the mass media. So that is what content analysis is.
Okay.
So with content analysis, it is classified based on the frequencies that it appears in different categories. So for content analysis, maybe a topic is talked about, like maybe, whatever topic is being talked about. So if they continue to talk about this topic every now and then, it becomes, that means the frequency at which they talk about it, about that topic, is what content analysis is based upon. So they used to talk about female education, or in this channel, they used to talk about female education. So continuously they talk about female education. So female education becomes the model to, or the topic to research upon. That is what content analysis is about. So the mass media uses or talks about a topic frequently. They continue to talk about the same topic frequently. That is what you are basing what you base your research upon. That's what we call content analysis. Is it clear?
Yes.
So what are the strengths of using content analysis? One, it provides information about content of the media in statistical form, which means it can be used to test sociological theories and change the content of mass media. So the first advantage of using content analysis is that you can use it for sociological theories. Because we say, oh, they talk about female education. They continue to talk about female education. Then we can link it to functionalism, or we can link it to Karl Marx ideology. We can link it to education itself. Feminism. Yeah, we can link it to feminism too. So because they continue to talk about these things, then we can try to find out or figure out why is it being talked about. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. That's the first thing. The second one, that it is reliable as it can be repeated. We said they continue to talk about the same topic frequently.
Yeah.
So that means it's repeated. So that means it brings reliability. The third point, it does not involve people as respondents. So it does not have any ethical issue. So here, it's talking about news. It's about content, which is being analyzed. So no one is involved here. It's just a story-based research from the mass media. So we are not involving anybody as respondents. As a result, there's no ethical issue regarding it, yes, which is an advantage. So what are the problems about using content analysis as your research? It produces quantitative data, which is fine. But the problem is that it does not explain why these things are done and how does it affect the audience. So they continue to talk about female education, but how they wouldn't tell us what they are able to get, feedback they are able to get from audience. It's a TV, it's a mass media. So they only talk about it without getting feedback.
Yes.
Do you understand? So we don't know the response of people regarding such topic that has been discussing, that they have been discussing frequently.
It's only one-way communication.
Yeah, it's one way. So you don't know the consequence of it.
Yeah.
So that we can only know the consequence of it through qualitative data. Because it's all about statistics here. How frequently do they talk about it? That is quantitative. But what are people's opinion about it? That's qualitative. Content analysis does not bring qualitative data.
Yeah.
Clear?
Yeah.
So it can be difficult to decide what categories to use because they are talking about female education, but they might talk about female education in the secondary school, female education in the university. So it becomes difficult for you to to be able to categorize what they are talking about. So you're like, oh, today they talked about female. It's about female, but which category should we categorize all these things? Where should we place them? It becomes difficult. The third point, it might be difficult to allocate the materials to different categories. So it's still the same thing we're talking about here. Yeah, they talked about female education. So what is the point? Why are they even talking about female education? So what do we derive from these things? Where should we link it to? Should we link it to functionalism? Should we link it to feminism? Should we link it to Marx? Or where should we, Marxism, or where should we link these things to? Because they will not categorize, they will not tell us that. So that's the problem about content analysis. Is it clear?
Yes.
You know what content analysis is about? It's about mass media using their own channel to communicate with people, to get people stick to their channel, to their TV station, to their newspaper. That is what it's about. So they come up with news stories that will attract you. Not getting a return, not getting a feedback from you. They just want to come up with their own content, which people get stuck with and they continue to watch and they continue to repeat it.
Yes.
That is what content analysis. So what you do as a researcher is, based on that content, you now research upon it. So you are not involving anybody. Your research is about how frequently do they talk about these topics. So whatever information you are gathering is still based on quantitative data.
Yeah, that's good.
Is it clear? So that's about content analysis. So we stop here.
Yes. Qualitative data means that data that
It involves opinions of people